Alright, here's Brian. It's a pretty good extension, good body position, real comfortable breathing, and you kick with supporting your strokes well, so that's all good. I think one of the main things we talked about was like your tempo or your timing. So you see how there's not a pause when you finish, but it's like a very kind of smooth and maybe slow recovery. You want to get those arms back around to the front as quickly as possible. So you don't want to throw your arms, but you want to recover in a quicker fashion. Underwater wise, it looks like the speed of your pull underwater looks good. There might be a possibility to accelerate that a bit. Just about everyone has room for improvement on the extension. So if you were to freeze this and freeze it at a point when your hand is reaching forward, you'll see that there's a little bit of space in between your shoulder and your head. When there's space like that, it indicates that there's a little room for improvement. Basically, at the apex of your extension, you want your shoulder almost rubbing against your chin or your face. It doesn't have to, and you don't want to lean your head into your shoulder in order to get that. You want your shoulder to be mobile and flexible enough to get into that position. So here, when you're reaching forward, you see how you're reaching right down the center or right in front of your head. You don't really have to do that. I like to tell people they can just reach in front of their shoulder, so slightly off to the side or slightly off center as opposed to dead center. And then we worked on this quite a bit with one arm drill. You're doing what's called the straight arm pull, or you're pulling straight down, straight back. So there's not a relative angle break from your hand and forearm to your upper arm, aka the high elbow catch or early vertical forearm. So that's got to do with traction or leverage in the water. And I know we talked about it, but I'll just discuss it again. The main thing there is that once you can get your hand and forearm into an angle like that, then you have that surface area basically creating resistance, and you pull yourself forward past that point. The mechanics of it are sort of rotating or shrugging your shoulder internally, and then working on pivoting that elbow or thinking about your hand and forearm angling down. The shoulder roll seems to be helping people, so can keep trying that. So catch-up drill and one-arm drill, doggy paddle drill are your main drills for it. I think here we were just working on extension, where you're extending to, and that looks better for sure. So one arm drill is great for working on the catch. You did a pretty good job with this. At the very end of the video, the last two screenshots are snapshots of you doing the one arm and getting a better catch angle.
Very good. You're definitely getting it. Yeah.
So maybe that's a drill I should be doing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is also good for building swim-specific strength because it really isolates that one side. So if you notice that you have a weaker side, it's good practice to just do some one-arm drill working on that weak side. It can be slow and frustrating, but it's worthwhile. So you can see here your catch is a lot better when you really were thinking about it. So that's good. So I'd say the right arm looked a little better technically than the left arm, but your left was improved at this point than it was right at the beginning of the video before we had discussed anything. Yeah, that's a pretty good catch with your right arm. So what I look at on the video is, when you're viewing the stroke from the side, this angle of the camera, you'll see the upper arm will still be kind of extending forward, but the hand and forearm are angled down or going vertical relative to the bottom of the pool. Whereas when you swim with the straight arm, your upper arm and forearm just stay in the same alignment the whole time.
Turnover rate. So we talked about extending and then trying not to pause.
So here we had discussed
pulling hard.
Tempo or turnover rate, forward extension, and getting the catch. So overall, your stroke really does look pretty good. I think a lot of your improvements going to come from just doing some pretty hard swimming sets a couple times a week. But the extension, the catch, and all that are certainly going to help. So pretty good extension. You could say that you might want to rotate a little more over onto your right side here. So that's decent rotation. The issue with rotation is want to streamline or hydrodynamics. You don't want to over rotate, but you don't want to under rotate either. And then see how the angle of the upper arm and forearm are sort of the same line. Now your body has moved a little past the camera, but it's still pretty much the same. That's a pretty good finish. So same thing as for the rotation to the left. So just doing a little more rotation will make you more streamlined and help get your, that's pretty good though. So you were gliding. So that would be a turnover issue or a rate of speed on your actual stroke. That was a little too much of a glide. That was a half second of a glide. And then that was an elbow slip that you saw there. 1 or 2 frames back. So it started as a straight arm and then it turned into an elbow slip where your hand and forearm are no longer vertical relative to the bottom of the pool. So that's a better catch on your left, and that's a better catch on your right.